The NBA draft lottery is less than 2 weeks away. It's creeping up on us. So I'm going to be doing my final pre-lottery mock draft today, but I'm putting a twist on it. I'm going to be making up 2 mock trades in this. Yeah, I'm going to try to have 2 teams in the top 10 go out, trade their pick for a player coming in. We do see draft night trades. We do see player for pick trades, and they're very hard to predict, but I'm going to try to do that today. So you could see a team like maybe Dallas or Portland making a win now move, but we're going to be simulating the lottery. We're not going in reverse standings right now. Fanspo.com, it's where I do these mock drafts. Now you can simulate the lottery on it. This website is goated. Also, the mock trades as well, the trade machine, that's on Fanspo. They have it all, and in the NFL as well. This video isn't sponsored at all. Fanspo has just helped me make so much content over the years, like it deserves its flowers. So let's see, who gets the rights to Wemby? Who's going to maybe get the second overall pick to take Scooter Brandon Miller? It looks like, oh wow, the Rockets get the #1 overall pick. Spurs at 2, Pelicans at 3, Jazz move up to 4. Pelicans up to 3 is also kind of crazy. Pistons and Hornets get screwed. The Blazers drop to 7. Magic dropping to 8 is also kind of a shame. And I just realized the Mavericks dropped to 11 because the Pelicans moved up. So now the Knicks have the 11th overall pick. And it's going to be a full first round mock. So with the #1 overall pick, this is a no-brainer. You take Victor Wembanyama. Now I'm trying to picture what a Rockets lineup with Wemby would look like, because you still have that hole at point guard. Maybe it's Kevin Porter Jr. We'll say it is. Or it could be James Harden. Now that would be cool, adding Wemby and James Harden. You got Jalen Green at the 2. I guess you move Jabari Smith Jr. to the 3. Hopefully he works on his 3-point shot in the offseason. You roll with Wemby at the 4 and Şengün at the 5, because I feel like you can't bench Şengün. Now you could trade Şengün if you want for a point guard or a true 3. I just don't know if I would do that right away. So yeah, you get Wemby in Houston. I mean, that would help the Rockets franchise with a new head coach as well, and Ime Udoka. That would be fun to watch. Spurs at 2. This is a no-brainer if San Antonio's picking at 2. This is Scoot Henderson all the way. There's a few teams that if they were selecting at 2, I would have them take Miller over Henderson. Maybe like Detroit, since they have Caden Ivey. Maybe if Portland wasn't trading the pick, you take Brandon Miller because you got, or if you're not trading Dame, you have Miller play with Simons and Dame, which could be a possibility. But we're going to take Scoot Henderson with the 2nd overall pick. He's going to lead the offense for Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Show, and Malachi Branham. That's a fun young squad in San Antonio, and they also will have a ton of cap space in this offseason as well. So Scoot, welcome to San Antonio. And we're going to make our first trade. The New Orleans Pelicans are going to say, you know what? We don't want to draft another young player. Let's go out. Let's get a perennial all-star. Let's go out and try to trade for Paul George or Kawhi Leonard from the LA Clippers. So there's going to be more assets in these mock trades. It's just the idea. The Clippers are going to try to trade one of their top guys, realize they're kind of peaking. They're about to be in purgatory. Their top guys can't stay healthy, it seems like, and they don't have the young assets or the draft capital to really move forward with their current roster. So I think if you have a chance to get Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson in this draft and trade either Kawhi or Paul George, you do that if you're the Clippers. For the Pelicans, you go out. I guess you would maybe prefer Paul George over Kawhi. I don't know though. I guess you prefer Kawhi, right? And you just like never play him throughout the regular season. Hopefully Zion stays healthy. But if you tell me you got Zion and Kawhi healthy in the playoffs with Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, that would be fun to watch. Now, yeah, you probably have to include Valanciunas, maybe something else. Maybe McCollum has to be in this deal to make the money work. Probably does. But either way, this would be a big trade for the Pelicans. Instead of adding like a Brandon Miller, who might not make a lot of sense next to Brandon Ingram long term, unless you change up Brandon Ingram's style of play, which you don't really want to do. But yeah, we're going to make this trade, which means the Clippers are on the clock here at 3, and they could go Amen Thompson if they want that franchise point guard. But for them, I'm going to have them select Brandon Miller here. So that was a fun mock trade. They're mock trades for a reason. Let me know, like, if you were the Clippers and you had a chance to move Kawhi Leonard for 2 or 3 in this draft, would you do it? Next up, we have the Utah Jazz. Now, Amen Thompson, I don't think is going to be my 4th ranked player. I'm going back and forth on who I have at 4, who I have at 5, but I'm going to have Amen Thompson go here to the Utah Jazz at 4, be that point guard around Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler. You could still have Sexton kind of be that pseudo 6th man for you, that scorer off the bench, especially if Jordan Clarkson leaves in the offseason. So I love Amen Thompson in Utah, actually, and yeah, Utah gets pretty lucky in this mock. We got Detroit at number 5 here. I would honestly take, it's between Jarris Walker or Cam Whitmore. It's tough. I mean, Asura Thompson, you can also make a case for, but if Ivy's shooting doesn't develop or Cade's next year, and like Jalen Duren isn't a floor spacer, it might be tough with the shooting. And I think Cam Whitmore has a higher ceiling, at least as a shooter, as a spot up shooter in the NBA. So with the 5th pick, I'm going to have Detroit select Cam Whitmore, who could be a 3-level scorer out of Villanova. He's more NBA ready than Asor Thompson's, more filled out in his body, could play a little bit more physical, not as athletic or bouncy or has the hops like Asor Thompson, but I think he could be a nice complementary piece to Ivy and Cade in that backcourt. So yeah, we're going to go Cam Whitmore here at 5. Number 6, we are going to take Jarris Walker here, going to Charlotte. That pick and roll, that pick and pop with LaMelo Ball and Jarris Walker could be so much fun to watch. I also wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte was like, you know what? We got to make LaMelo happy right now. We have to trade the pick. But for now, I'm going Jarris Walker, who's one of my favorite prospects in this draft. We're going to be making another trade here. The Portland Trailblazers are going to be trading the 7th overall pick in a hypothetical for DeAndre Ayton, who's an upgrade over Yusuf Nurkic. And you can have a Lillard, Simons, Sharp, Jeremy Grant if you re-sign him, and DeAndre Ayton starting 5. That could be a playoff team in the West next season, and maybe Nurkic has to be in this trade to make the money work, which could incentivize Phoenix to doing this trade, because if you get 7 in Nurkic for Ayton, that's a solid return. I don't love Nurkic at all. I really wouldn't want his contract, but you're getting pick 7 for DeAndre Ayton might be worth it. So it's the idea of Portland going out, trading their top 10 pick, and trying to get somebody like a DeAndre Ayton. Maybe they try to make the 7th overall pick for OG Anunoby. That could also be somebody. But yeah, I'm going to have Phoenix take Taylor Hendricks. Now, I mentioned I love Jarris Walker in this class. I think I might love Hendricks even more. I think he could be a better defender, a better 3-point shooter, a physical, modern-day power forward that any NBA team could use and needs, and he would be so valuable in this league. And I think trading Ayton for, let's say, Hendricks and Nurkic would be worth it if I were Phoenix. So we have the 8th overall pick here for the Orlando Magic. I don't think they could pass up on Asor Thompson. He needs to work on his free throw shooting and his 3-point shooting, but even if that doesn't develop, maybe you can run some lineups with him at the 4 and play a little bit small there, because he can run the floor. He could be the roller in the pick and roll or in a DHO. He can get the lobs. He's super athletic. He's a raw prospect. He would need some time to develop, and Orlando's had a good development track record over the past couple of years, so I like Asor to Orlando. With the 9th pick, I'm going to have the Indiana Pacers select Grady Dick. Now, he could be somebody long-term you could picture next to Tyrese Halliburton, somebody that could be an amazing floor spacer for Tyrese, for Mathurin, and this could also allow Indiana maybe trade Buddy Hield in this offseason, because he's one of the league's best shooters. You could get a good asset in return for Buddy Hield, maybe a power forward, maybe another pick, and you could pull that trade off. You can draft Grady Dick to kind of fill in those minutes, and hopefully he can develop to being one of the league's best shooters, because he's projected to be coming out of Kansas. We got the Washington Wizards here at 10. I think there's 2 really solid choices here. If this is how the draft fell for Washington, this would be really good for them, because you can get 2 defensive-minded lead playmaking point guards, Anthony Black or Cason Wallace. Now, I think Cason Wallace's defense could be a little bit better in the NBA. He's definitely projected to be one of the best defenders from this draft class. He had a solid tournament for Kentucky. He's somebody you could put next to Bradley Beal that can hopefully help out on the defensive end, because we know Bradley Beal isn't the greatest defender, and you get that franchise point guard, something you haven't had since John Wall. With the 11th overall pick, I'm going to have Dallas make a trade. They're going to call up Toronto and see the price on OG Anunoby. Now, Dallas would have to give up a decent amount more, because OG Anunoby probably has more trade value than DeAndre Ayton around the league. So maybe Dallas is also throwing in a Jaden Hardy or a Josh Green and multiple other first-round picks in this deal. But yeah, we're going to have OG Anunoby end up in Dallas, who desperately needs an elite perimeter defender after trading away Dorian Finney-Smith at the 2023 trade deadline. So yeah, Toronto is getting another lottery pick. And at 11, I think Anthony Black would be a great addition, especially if Fred VanVleet and or Gary Trent leave in the offseason. They're both free agents. They can both opt out of their current deals. Anthony Black is somebody that's going to get compared to Dyson Daniels a little bit as that defensive-minded, long, physical point guard that can also facilitate, rebound, and he can be that next point guard for Toronto after they moved on from Kyle Lowry and possibly this offseason, Fred VanVleet. At 12 here, I think I love this pick for Orlando. Let's get Jordan Hawkins, the leader at UConn who just won the national championship in Orlando. This sophomore, a good floor spacer, a good defender, could be a nice 3-and-D complement to Franz and Paolo Banchero. And you're adding Asor Thompson and Dariq Whitehead in this draft, which I'm a huge fan of because you have somebody with maybe not the highest ceiling, but a really high floor in Jordan Hawkins, and somebody with a super high ceiling, but a super low floor in Asor Thompson. With the 13th pick, I think Oklahoma City Thunder would be interested in Ryan Rupert, somebody that could maybe benefit from being in the G League, similar to why they drafted Ousmane Dieng, who might take a little bit of time to develop, but when he does, could be an elite 3-and-D guy around Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and just basically another Vu Dort off the bench for them for years to come. And Toronto at 14. Let's take Jalen Hood-Schifino. Oh my god, this would be so much fun to watch in Toronto if Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent Jr. left, because you'd have Pirtle at the 5 if they re-sign him, Siakam and Barnes at the forward spots, and then you're adding Jalen Hood-Schifino as your point guard and Anthony Black as your shooting guard. That would just be so much fun to watch. I think I would tune into a lot of Raptors games if that happened. With the 15th pick, I'm going to have Atlanta select Gregory Jackson. I think they could use another taller forward, maybe not another shooting guard type player or another center since they have Capella and Okongwu. That's why I'm not going to have them go like a Derek Lively here. But Gregory Jackson, similar to Sword Thompson, super high ceiling, super low floor. He's really going to have to work on his decision making, his shot selection at the next level, but I think this could be a home run pick for Atlanta. At 16, we have the Utah Jazz selecting here with the Minnesota Timberwolves first round pick. And I like them going Noah Clowney out of Alabama. Somebody that could also get minutes in between Walker Kessler and Lauri Markkanen. Could be a nice pick and roll piece with Amen Thompson, their new point guard as well. We're at 17 here for the LA Lakers. Nick Smith is a wild card in this class. Somebody who was basically injured all year at Arkansas. He had a terrible tournament, but he has all the traits and intangibles to be an athletic point guard and somebody you could possibly build around. But will he stay healthy? Will his shot be able to develop? Is he going to be physical enough on defense? Because he's definitely going to have to get stronger as well going up against NBA level talent. At 18 here for the Miami Heat, I like them going Derek Lively out of Duke. They haven't really had a consistent backup 5 behind Bam Adebayo since Bam really got there. Right now it's been like Omer Yurtseven. They had Dwayne Dedmon at one point. We've seen Orlando Robinson. We've seen a lot of backup 5s, but Derek Lively could be the guy here. A nice rim protector, rebounder, who might need a little bit of time to develop, but behind Bam, that might be a perfect mentor for him. Now we're on Golden State at 19. They could be looking in the wing department. They could also be looking at a power forward if Draymond Green does leave in the offseason. And Chris Murray could be somebody that's NBA ready, can be an elite shooter for them. And the Warriors are probably going to try to win it all next year as well, as Curry and Clay aren't getting any younger. You add Chris Murray, the brother of Keegan Murray, out of Iowa. We have the Rockets again here at 20 from the Clippers. This was in the Eric Gordon deal. They could go different type of ways here. I like Leonard Miller out of the G League. High potential guy, crazy wingspan, played a lot better in the second half of the G League Ignite season. And he's going to be the pick here at 20. At 21, I'm going to have the Nets take one of the best scoring freshmen from this past collegiate season, Bryce Sensabaugh. That was from the Kevin Durant trade, and they're on the clock again with their own pick, and they could also go with another wing. Maybe they look at a point guard, Kobe Buff. Kobe Buffkin out of Michigan, though, I think is going to be a first-round pick, and I like this for Brooklyn, who needs that point guard, because right now it's Spencer Dinwiddie, and how much longer is he going to be on the roster for? Okay, honestly, I'm an idiot. I just realized, Matt, the Mavericks wouldn't have the 11th overall pick. You literally said that in the beginning of the video. Well, honestly, I could also see the Knicks going out and trading for OG Anunoby as well. Somebody that really wouldn't demand the ball in his hands. He could be an elite defender next to Josh Hart, next to Jalen Brunson. He can help him out on that defensive side of the ball. So, yeah, let's just picture this, that OG Anunoby was traded to the Knicks, and the Raptors still got the 11th overall pick to take Anthony Black. I like the Blazers going with a high potential guy here at 23, Keontae George. He's going to take some time to develop. I don't love him as a prospect just due to his shot selection. Sometimes has a little bit of tunnel vision as well, but he definitely has potential to be a good scorer in the NBA if his development is, tended to. And he's not somebody that's just out there to take 20 shots a night, and you don't really see him getting better. Sacramento at 24. I like James Najee here. Could be a really good rim protector at the next level. He might need to spend some time in the G League though, but Sacramento could use somebody here that could be an upgrade over Sean Holmes or Alex Len. We have Memphis taking Jet Howard here at 25. This might be the steal of the draft. I could see Jet Howard going a little bit later than people think. Same with Dariq Whitehead, who I do have going to the Pacers at 26, but I feel like this is a good spot for him. 27, I'm going to have the Charlotte Hornets take Maxwell Lewis. Under the radar prospect because he played at Pepperdine, but this guy can be a good 3-level scorer in the NBA, and he's really good at attacking the rim too. He's efficient inside, which is huge for a player's development. The Jazz are picking again here at 28. This is from the Royce O'Neal trade, I believe. And I like Sidi Sissoko here, who could definitely develop in the Utah Jazz system. We have the Pacers at 29 from the Malcolm Brogdon trade. And I'm going to have them take Terquavion Smith out of North Carolina State. And with the last pick, it's the 30th pick. This is back from the Kawhi Leonard Paul George trade. And we're going to have the Pelicans select Colby Jones out of Xavier. So yeah, that is my new 2023 NBA mock draft with trades. We had basically the Clippers trading away Paul George or Kawhi. I'll say Kawhi for this exercise, to the Pelicans to take Brandon Miller. We had the Suns trading away DeAndre Ayton for pick 7 to take Taylor Hendricks. We had the Raptors trading away OG Anunoby to the Knicks to select Anthony Black. All three of those players I could see traded in the offseason. Definitely DeAndre Ayton, definitely OG Anunoby, probably not maybe Kawhi or Paul George, even though the Clippers should. So let me know what you guys think of this mock draft below. Drop a like if you guys do enjoy the mock. My next mock will be after the draft lottery, so be on the lookout for that. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the